Hello, this is Ryan Howard, and thank you for coming back to our channel once again. This is now our third video, and behind the camera is my other half, my brother Jordan Howard. So in this video, we're again going to do something different than what we have been doing. I was a former truck driver and still hold my license, so in this video I am going to talk about my first week as a highway truck driver. So we're going back to, it must have been somewhere around 2010 or so, and I basically just got my license maybe a week before, and I just got onto a local company and ended up going out on the highway, and I was going out with a trainer to learn the ropes and figure out what truck driving was all about. So my first week, my first day actually, I started at about 6 a.m. We ended up going to, for my first trip, I got to ride. I didn't drive my first day. My trainer did the driving because, of course, I wasn't all set up for it, because they didn't think I was going to be set up in sleep patterns and all that. So they thought it would be just simpler to see the first trip and see what it was all about. So we ended up going to Montreal, starting in Sudbury here, and went to Montreal. We actually went and delivered a load at a customer, and it was pretty uneventful. It was a nice sunny day. It was beautiful. It was late spring, early summer-ish, somewhere around there, and my first day was not that bad. It was nothing really exciting about it. My first night, I was not really all that excited on my first night, because I came into trucking kind of naive, kind of expecting, like you see in movies, stopping at truck stops and whatnot, eating and all that, because I came with basically a pillow, a comforter, and a small cooler with some bread and bologna. That was it. I didn't have anything else. So the first night I didn't eat anything, and the way I thought we would have to do it, I ended up hopping right into the bunk, and because I was in a bunk truck, and tried to go straight to sleep. And being early summer, late spring, it was warm. Now these bunk trucks, they do have heat and AC in the back, but they are all run by battery. And I had no idea how the system worked. I did not expect it to last very long. Batteries usually don't. They usually only last maybe a couple hours. And I was going to be sleeping at least 10. So the first night I would turn the AC on, let it cool down, then shut it off. And I would sleep for a couple hours, and then the heat would build up, and I would turn on the AC again and shut the heat off again, or the AC off again. And I would do that all night. So that was my first night. So, and of course my trainer was in a hotel, so he got the comfy Comfort Inn or wherever he went to type hotel. So the next day we ended up getting up at night. So we ended up driving all the way from Montreal, went to Toronto with the just a regular load. It was nothing special. In Toronto, which was only about 6 hours down the road, we ended up sleeping again, and so once again, trainer went to a hotel nearby, and I ended up sleeping in the bunk. And like last time, like the night before, I did the exact same thing, thinking at some point we were going to be stopping at a truck stop somewhere to eat. And boy, was I ever wrong. The next night, I basically did the same thing as I did the night before. I would turn the AC on, go to sleep, and then turn the AC off. Because I did not want that battery to die. Because I always assumed that it was the batteries that actually started the truck. So if I knew if I drained the batteries, then there was chance I was not going to be able to start this truck up. So I would sleep for a couple hours, wake up, cool it off, go back to sleep. And that was that. So, since we got there early into Toronto early in the morning, slept all day. In the early evening, we got up, and from Toronto, me and my trainer, I ended up driving us all the way up to Timmins, which is about 8 to 10 hours. So I ended up going to sleeping in the yard. Trainer, of course, went to the hotel again, and this time I was getting quite hungry. I basically went through 2 days of eating nothing, which is not good. Don't try it. It's not healthy. It's not good for you at all. Don't do it. So I ended up, and by the time I got up to Timmins, 2 days have gone by. My cooler, I had ice packs in my cooler. They were warm. So everything in that cooler was warm. Because the exhaust, unfortunately for the truck, runs underneath the bunk. So basically the floor heats up as you drive. Which is good if it's in the winter. But in the summer, or when you have a cooler that just has an ice pack in it, it's not so good. So I ended up having dry bread, some pieces of bologna, and slapped it together and had that. So I ended up eating, so I ate that, and then again, turn on the AC, try and go to sleep, try to sleep for 10 hours, and of course, as soon as I got cool enough, I would try to go to sleep, turn the AC off, which again, I would sleep for a couple hours and wake up and do it all over again. So I ended up staying out for 4 days. So by the time I got up to Timmins, 3 days had gone by. So for my second last night, I ended up going from Timmins back to Toronto. By the time I got down to Toronto, I ended up, my trainer ended up going back to the hotel. Me, I changed it up that night. It was going to be my last night to sleep in the truck. By my second day up in Timmins, I was ready to quit. I was really honestly thinking of going back to my home terminal, Sudbury, and going into my boss's house and saying, I had enough. This ain't for me. I was walking away from trucking. But I was also humming and hawing and thinking, well, maybe I should finish out this week at least, or I thought, well, maybe I should go through the training at least and then quit, at least get some driving under my belt. Well, I ended up going to Toronto anyway for my last night, and I thought, well, I'm going to do something different. All I've been trying is to sleep and eat very little. So I ended up, because the terminal in Toronto for the company that I worked for ended up it had what they called a driver's room, which had TV and satellite, a couch, and everything in a bathroom in there. So it had everything you would ever need at a home, except for a kitchen. Strike that. It does have a kitchen. It has a small kitchen. It has a fridge, a sink, and a small kitchen table. But anyway, I thought, if it's going to be my last night, I hadn't seen any TV, haven't listened to much of the radio, and I wanted to know, so I ended up spending 3 or 4 hours watching TV just to relax. And I got into the bunk, turned on the AC, and fell asleep with the AC going. Felt great. I slept all night. It was the best sleep I ever got. I woke up getting ready to, after my 10 or so hours that I was down for, slept for 6 or 7 hours, and got up, felt great. I had a whole new outlook for trucking. I thought, I basically thought I figured out what I needed to do to get to sleep and to make this a way better experience than I was thinking of the first 3 days. So we ended up just driving the 5 hours from Toronto to Sudbury. Got home. I was still living with my parents at the time because I was only 24, 25. No, I was even younger than that. I think I was 23, 22, 23. And I came home and I was talking to my dad because he worked for the same company, and he told me all about basically what I was doing wrong. He told me I needed to take more food, which I did for the second week. He's told me that the AC is actually set up on a different battery bank in the truck, which is behind the bunk, and it is designed to run from 10 to 12 hours. So right then I knew, okay, I could run the AC or the heat for 10 to 12 hours, bring more food, and that's what I did for the next week. Next week, I ran the AC all the time. I ate every night, and boy, did my experience of trucking ever change. I'm glad I stuck it out. I'm glad I did. I changed and I figured it out early enough to enjoy it, because it was the greatest experience I ever had. So my first week, I hope this story will, for you new truck drivers that are coming in, to know what to do and what to expect, or you early drivers who are thinking of getting into the field, is if you're planning on staying out more than a day, come out with food. Clothes should be pretty straightforward, but make sure you bring lots of food. And if you happen to be in a highway bunk truck with a bed in the back, the AC or heat is designed to run 10 to 12 hours. So I hope this story will help you, and I hope you drivers are safe out there. I hope you enjoy it out there, because we do need lots of drivers, and I hope that you are safe and that you'll enjoy being in the trucking industry. So thank you very much, and I hope you like, subscribe, and possibly comment on this video. Thank you very much.